January Tourism Commission meeting. We see some folks online as well. Carrie, can you do a roll call for us, please?
Sure. Ellen Jimenez,
I am here.
Regina Salas,
President.
Julie Comnick. Here. Jennifer Brogan is excused. Cody Halfmoon,
Present online.
Michael Marquez is excused. Jamie Thousand.
Here.
Perfect. Just a quick reminder, if you're carrying a cell phone, if you have a computer in front of you or other sound device, we ask that you turn it off or turn off your volume so that we're not disrupting the meeting today. And then we're going to do a quick local check-in. I see that Councilmember Aslan is on. Do you want to check in or do you have anything to share with the group?
Hi, gang. No, I don't have a lot to report. I do want to make a suggestion for a future agenda item. I think we should hear from the Downtown Business Alliance. They have a new plan that they're trying to unveil, that they're trying to talk up a lot. It makes sense to me that the Tourism Commission would hear from them and hear all about what their objective is. So if we could get that agendized, maybe, I don't know how that works, but just a suggestion for you all. That's all I have for now.
Thank you. I see Trace and Carrie making notes. We'll maybe put it on next month's agenda.
As long as they're available.
As long as they're available. Thank you for that. And thank you for being here. Commissioners, any check-ins today?
I have a couple of announcements. Our Arizona Fourth Community County Workforce Development Board is part of this 5-county Northern Arizona Good Job Network. We are prioritizing tourism, outdoor hospitality / boat and RV maintenance and repair accelerated program. And then there's the food service component of it. And then we're also prioritizing healthcare, manufacturing, and construction. We are hosting a roundtable for employers in manufacturing, transportation, and utilities. And that's going to be on February 26th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will serve lunch, but we're inviting employers in these sectors to attend and learn from them what their needs are in terms of and challenges and opportunities for workforce training. I will keep this Tourism Commission updated for the food service and the outdoor hospitality accelerated. So, and I will send the information for the manufacturing, construction, transportation, and utilities roundtable to Trace and Carrie if anyone from this group wants to share the information, because we all rely on transportation and utilities, and there's some skills that can start from those sectors and can move to hospitality, because hospitality and lodging and restaurant need this skill trades as well. And then for those of you who attended the focus group on the study on the impact of minimum wage on Coconino County, which is done through the NAU Economic Policy Institute, we received the initial report from NAU, and they're doing the finishing touches for the report to be published. We're looking at having a presentation of the report at the Workforce Board meeting in March. And we will have, as soon as we have the report online, I will also share it with the commission. And being the project manager for that study, I have some insights on that too, if you want to have some offline conversations. As you plan for this quarter and next quarter. I believe I had shared some with Ellen and the Flagstaff professionals group last week.
Putting that together. Any other updates?
I have one online.
Buddy?
Hi, yes, I was looking over the agenda or the presentation, I guess, and I wanted to make sure everyone knew that there was the I Heart Pluto Festival coming up in 3 weeks. I think 4 weeks, very soon. Too soon for me to be totally prepared for it. But we have a slew of events and special partnerships. And we're working with the Downtown Business Alliance, putting on a community pub crawl, the Pluto Pub Crawl, on Friday, which is also Valentine's Day. We're partnering with Mother Road to create a really cool, specially labeled beer, and 8 other breweries and bars and lounges, mead hall around town to promote the event. Flag Shakes is putting on a custom Shakespeare on Pluto play that weekend. So there's a lot happening in town that weekend. It would be the 13th through the 17th. I just want to make sure everyone was on board and knew. And anyone who wants to do something at Lowell, we're doing like a vendor hall on Monday and doing press releases about that. So you can contact me if you're interested in more information.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Anybody else?
Just chiming in for Discover Flagstaff. Cody, we've already put out some communication supporting Pluto Festival. You'll see some creative in our slides soon.
Oh yeah, y'all are great. We I think we've even done a few collab posts with I think Isabel. I think Alex and Isabel have a whole thing that they're doing together. So it's definitely on social media. And I think I brought it up last time too, but it's just sort of forever present on my mind at the moment. So I thought I'd bring it up again.
Appreciate it. It's on my calendar.
Oh, and Beer
Now
Week.
we have-
I know Michael wanted to bring that up. Beer Week is that week as well.
Alongside the pub crawl. Now we have public participation. This is where we open up for any public comments, thoughts. I know we have some guests in the room today. Do you have anything you want to bring up, share? Online? All right, perfect. Thank you. Everybody should receive the minutes from our October meeting. You should have read through those. I do need an approval of the minutes, please.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the minutes from the October 24, 2024 Tourism Commission meeting.
Thank you. We have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? And if everybody agrees, please say aye. Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any nays? Perfect. And then we need to go over the minutes for our January retreat as well. Perfect. If I can have an approval. From the commission. I can have a motion too.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the January 8, 2025 Tourism Commission retreat minutes.
Perfect. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. You were here. All right, everybody, any discussion? Everybody agrees? Can you all say aye, please?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, unanimous. We have an action. It's been a year since Regina and I were voted in as chair and vice chair. So we do have to put in a nomination for either a re-up or a new chair for this upcoming year. And with that, do we have any nominations for chair? I'm happy to do it again, by the way.
Madam Chair, I would nominate. incumbent Madam Chair Ellen Jimenez to continue on as chair of the Tourism Commission.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I happily accept. Any discussion? And then we need a vote. Everybody approve, say aye.
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 Anybody not approve, say nay. All right, perfect. Now nomination and vote for Vice Chair. I'm happy to nominate our incumbent Vice Chair, Regina Salas, to be our upcoming continued Vice Chair if she's open to it.
I love being a wing woman, Madam Chair. I'm honored to take
All right, do we have any discussion? If we all approve, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody not approved, please say nay. All right, perfect. We are set in the action section. Reports. Heather, I see you online. We're so happy to see you. Are you ready to give us your report for the month?
I am. I think my camera shut off. I don't know what's going on. Yes, I am. I am so happy to be here. Happy 2025 and all of the craziness that comes with January. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Is it doing it? No?
We see you.
You can see me now? Perfect.
Yes.
So again, my name is Heather Craig. I'm the marketing operations coordinator at Lowell Observatory. And I report the attractions visitation. And I know last October, the last time we met, I talked about kind of re-upping things and more focusing on trends and really taking the data back as far as I could. So this report looks a little different than from what we're used to. And then I am open to questions, comments, changes, or anything anyone would like to see in this report as well. So I'm just kind of trying out this new format for this year. So, so here I have the graph of the total monthly attractions visitation. So this is all of the attractions that I collect data on and then added together. So we did have this graph in the last report, but I took it all the way back to 2015. And so 2024 is this really big, bold line that we can see here. But we can take our trends all the way back to 2015, looking at the dips in the different seasons and stuff like that. So I really like this graph that we can just go back and say, oh, okay, everyone has that November dip and that August dip and things like that. So this is the first new one. And then the second one is for the Grand Canyon. Again, it also goes all the way back to 2015. And the Grand Canyon's 2024 line is this red line with the white circles. And so again, we can see that back in 2015, like pre-COVID, this was up here. This was a pre-COVID trend. And then even the Grand Canyon dropped here at like post-COVID. So there's that one. And then this one is by attraction. And so in my previous report, I had the visitation by month, and it just was kind of a cluster of lines. It was really hard to decipher. So here I have parceled out the different attractions. And so the attractions in orange are primarily tourist attractions. In blue are museums. And then in green are outdoor attractions. And then Lowell is in blue because we kind of fit into all of those categories. And this goes all the way back to 2015 with yearly visitation totals. And so again, another really fun or good tool to track trends and see how everyone's doing over the year. And so this is Snowball here, but we can track all of the trends across all the way back to 2015. And then this is the same, but just the graphic's a little bit different for our weather. I didn't take that back to 2015 because that would kind of just give you a cluster of lines. But we can see in the bright blue, that's the 2024 weather and temperature and snowfall. So like this year, it has been the driest year ever. And so we are able to, again, track those trends. And then a few upcoming events from our attractions. As Cody mentioned before, the iHeart Pluto Festival is coming up February 13th through the 17th. Snow Bowl has Family Fridays, and this Sunday, if you were a season pass holder, they are doing early loads. And then lots of really cool stuff going on at the Museum of Northern Arizona as well. So, yeah. So that is the new report. Again, I am open to all suggestions. If you guys want to see something different, I am open to it because I just wanted to make, a little bit of an adjustment from last year's report, make it a little bit more actionable for everyone. So.
Good too. Yeah, that I do as well. Hey, Heather, this is Trace. It seems to me, and maybe this is just my sensibility, but it seems to me that a bar graph would be better to show than a line graph in terms of the visitation or attractions numbers.
Okay, so hold on.
Line graph is so if you showed a bar graph, it would be 4 or 5 graphs because you couldn't fit them all on there, but you would have a bar graph, segment by year, say 19 through 24 for Lowell, and a bar graph for Snow Bowl, and then one for Flag Extreme, and you know what I mean? It just seems
so
like
give them all individual graphs, and then just making more graphs. Yeah.
You could put 3 on one graph, and then go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think the issue with that is trying to see trends across all of the visitors, like as a total, like all visitation and Flagstaff attractions. I know we tried looking at it that way, and there are so many that report in. It's difficult to see trends, like seeing snowballs up, but that might throw off our average. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of hard to see because there are so many.
I don't know why we would want to be comparing the attractions themselves. They should be compared apples to apples. So they're comparing to themselves, not to a different attraction. So I still am not 100% sure why a bar graph wouldn't be better. But maybe we could offline.
You want to do them like all together, like all attractions that report as one number throughout the months?
Well, you could do each individual one, so I can see, oh, Snowball was up, down, the bar graph is so easy to look at to determine that. And then you could do one that's a aggregate of all of them. That would be fine as well, as long as it's apples to apples. Yeah, kind of a standing bar graph, I think is better. Yeah, you don't want to do that. We could do a little, offline where we talk about this and look at them. But as it sits now, I'm seeing nodding heads in the room. But as it sits now, for me, it's rough. So in other words, you wouldn't do it this way because you would do each individual one. So you do a bar graph that shows Snowball, and then another one that shows another, each one would have its own bar graph. So it's real easy. And you could even, if you could fit maybe 2 on one graph, that's fine. If not, you just do an individual graph for each one. And then the other one would just be an aggregate number. So it wouldn't be color coded. It'd just be an aggregate number of all of them each month. Each year. so you can see it. So it'd be kind of a year to date on that one. I don't know. I mean, we can offline this. I don't want to, cause a big,
Yeah, let's chat offline because of how many reports there are. We would end up with a slide that's probably like 30 slides long if we did one for each. So maybe let's chat offline and see or if we could get a note from the group, like what are y'all looking for the most when during these reports, or what kind of trends are you most curious about or that is most helpful? And then we can maybe have an offline meeting and figure out the best way to show that information.
This is Commissioner Jimenez. I really like this view more than the,
You like this one better than this one?
yes.
One or two?
so what is this showing us? This is showing us
This
the
is-
aggregate, right?
Yeah, so this is like each year, so the aggregate year, and then we're colored off by location or like by attraction. So 2015, this is the total visitors of everybody, and then they're broken off.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine as an aggregate number to show attractions was up in general for 2024 over 23. So that's fine that they're color coded. That's no big deal. And then, yeah, I mean, it's not going to show you month by month, and it's not going to show you each individual. It's too hard to tell each individual attraction, whether they
Yeah.
were up year. So I still think we should offline this and come up with sort of the best thing. I mean, everybody's looking for the same thing. We're looking to say, is Snowball, is Flag Extreme up, by month? And then at the end of the year, are they up for the end of the year? And then all attractions that are being accounted for, as long as it's apples to apples, is it up or down year over year? So those are the things everybody wants to know, and I'm not sure how that's easiest, but the line graph is
A lot.
it's a lot
Chaotic
for
and gives
me.
you a headache. I totally understand.
Yeah, so I think we'll get there, but I think we should probably offline it.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
everybody?
Am I commissioner? This is Commissioner Comnic. That's fine. My recommendation, maybe I'm just missing it here, is I'm not seeing how the color codes are established. So if there's a way to have like arts and culture in one color range and, outdoor attractions in another.
But that's another way to sort of, it doesn't really, I mean, that's another way to look at it. We could slice and dice it. They're not doing it that way now.
Got it.
We're doing it
So-
just by each individual attraction.
Sure, she did on the screen.
On this screen.
Oh, on this screen you did.
Yeah, so on this line
Yeah.
graph, like the lines are diced out by orange is tourist attractions, museums are purple, and then outdoors, such as like Sunset Crater and Walnut Canyon, are in green, and then Lowell is in blue because we kind of sit in all of those categories. And I could associate that in the bar graph too. It was just like a quick changing the style in Excel and bringing it over. So that could be associated in the aggregate bar graph, but then I would love to offline it and talk about like figure out the best way to show the up by month and up by year over year.
That sounds great. I'll get with you. We'll do an offline for this meeting. Does any of the commission want to be a part of that meeting?
Yeah, Heidi has a follow-up.
Okay, Heidi? Okay. I can't read that.
I think she is
Okay.
stopped. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, sorry,
Yeah,
Chair
no,
and Trace. I
I saw
fell out
that.
of the meeting. I was just throwing out an idea that I saw online to show it the different years. So that's a thought. And then you could do the same with months. But anyway, that's all I was going to add. Thanks.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that one.
All right, we'll
I
get,
think maybe there's like a specific percentage growth or something like that we can show as a calculation versus breaking them all out by bar graphs. I do want to protect, making, or I just want to ensure like the hours that Heather puts into preparing these, that it's something that, all the commissioners are really clued in on and are getting value from.
Because this is also just chaotic because there's so many attractions.
okay. Perfect. Well,
Cool. I love the feedback and I really appreciate it. I want to make sure the data in this report is actionable for all of you guys and you guys are getting something out of this instead of me just being like, oh, it's the same old thing. So yeah, everyone come to the offline meeting. Give me all of your thoughts. I want to make this
Okay.
the best thing I can for you guys. So
appreciate that.
With that, Heather, thank you. I know it takes a lot of time and focus for you to put this together for us, and you do it every month. It's appreciated.
well, thank you. I really enjoy the data and stuff. So yeah, I really love it. So thank you guys for allowing me to do it. All right, well, if that's the end of that, I will stop sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys so much.
Now, we'll hand this over to you, Trace.
Great.
All eyes on you.
All eyes on me. So Tourism Chair and Vice Chair and Commission, thank you for letting us present today. We are going to present December, and you may find a couple folks that even go back a month before that because they didn't present that. So we're going to get started. How about next slide so I know where I'm at? We always give you our vision, our mission, and our position statement, which you have every tourism commission. So we're going to start today with visitor services and Jessica Johnson, who is our visitor services manager.
Hello, Madam Chair, Commissioners. I'll share with you, like Trace said, some December figures and then a little calendar year 24 since that did just pass. Next slide. So this one's a look at our walk-ins. As you can see, our trend was up slightly, both December and year over year, 23 to 24. Yeah, next slide. And then our retail was following a similar trend, seeing that slight increase both over December and calendar year 23. Next slide. And the December events. So December is always fun. Over at the Visitor Center, we have our Snowflake Festival, which is really community family focused. Santa and Mrs. Claus are there to take pictures and Christmas wishes. And then we take over the Amtrak half with arts and crafts, and the kids can make ornaments to take home and hang on their tree and some other little things. And then brand new this year was the Winter Wonderland horse-drawn carriage rides. It's a mouthful, but we got to play on all the things we can. And so that was fun. I mean, as all new events, we learned as we went, but the visitors really enjoyed it, and locals that came and did it. And that was the main thing. They just did a short lap around downtown, about 15-minute ride. We did alternate our route a couple times for street closures when the light parade was happening. We took an alternate down Fellside and just went as we went. It was a lot of fun. So would like to repeat that again next year, taking everything we learned and applying it to be even better next year.
How did that compare to the ice rink? Yeah.
It was very different. I think a couple things, like looking at, if you go to the retail side, Ralph, I think it sort of impacted that. You don't see in December, you see that kind of 1%. Normally we would see a little higher. A lot of our ice skating rink people, I think, hung out a little longer in the visitor center. The weather plays into it too. I think they were buying hats and gloves. And then the carriage ride, they sort of just stayed in line, did their carriage ride, and then went off and did other things. Hopefully that off and do other things is spending money downtown and at other, locations around town. But definitely very different from a event management standpoint, I like carriage rides a lot better. So like, still, of course, with any event, working with vendors and coordinating was a whole thing, but much easier than skate. Skate was a kind of a monster.
Yeah, so I hate to point out typos.
Oh, dang it.
But you're showing an increase in December when the number shows a decrease.
And I think that's what was throwing me off, because I'm thinking back when you and me and Heidi talk at the end of the month, and yeah. So you're right. I think that should have been a -1% versus a positive
For retail sales.
for retail
Yeah,
sales.
and it probably, oh, for December, yeah. Did you
For
have
December.
the paving still going on?
No, it was over beginning of December.
Beginning of
Yeah,
December.
like end of. Yeah, no, they had all that.
So that percentage is incorrect.
Yeah. I think it should have a negative. I'd have to look back at my other monthly, but I think it should be a negative. Because it was close, as you can see from the numbers, it's, a couple thousand away, but still that decrease.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and go forward. One more. Yeah, there you go. And then looking ahead. So here's a look at kind of what's coming. As you know, we've talked about the Visitor Center Express at the airport. I think I mentioned at our retreat that we do have a goal of early May. Construction should be complete by the end of April. And then we've got everything in place to get our furniture put in, our retail and all that, get it open as fast as possible. And I know a lot, I've got, Commissioner Marquez, I know flies lots, so we need to be here, but any of the other of you that utilize our airport, we've put a lot of heads together with what we want in that space. Of course, we want the visitor services for the people coming into town. And then we're going to have our retail component very different from the train station, some of that souvenir, and then a lot that travel convenience. We're going to have a small bit of beer and wine as we, work through the liquor license process. So folks can enjoy a cocktail while they're waiting on their flight or waiting to pick up a loved one. But those of you that use, is there something you'd like to see us have in that space? Anyone that flies out?
Snacks and magazines.
Snacks and magazines. Okay. Snacks there'll be kind of two components. We'll have our visitor center component, and then there's going to be a grab and go. So the grab and go is going to be a lot of those snacks. That way it's available 24/7 because our visitor center is going to be similar business hours.
And last minute Flagstaff items.
Yeah, and that's definitely one. Some magnets, hoodie, whatever, those
Sweaters.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming some rack cards, unless they're already there. I'm sorry for my ignorance there.
Oh, absolutely, Cody. I know we have, we'll pull from our same warehouse for the main visitor center. So I know Charlie reaches out to you whenever she needs anything, and we'll continue to do so for both locations.
And if you need anything, I know we talked about it once a really long time ago. Actually, I don't even remember who I talked about it with. But Lowell was happy to sponsor like an informational backdrop or something, some sort of interp sign about Flagstaff's international dark sky city status. I think we talked about working with Chris Luganbuehl and making a cool display. If that's anything that y'all would be interested or want, I'm happy to help coordinate that with Chris and do something for the city. That was a very old idea. I'm just bringing it back around if there's any interest.
Commissioner Half Moon, I wonder if it would be cool to do styrofoam planets that hang from the ceiling, and they would be the approximate correct distance from the sun. You know how we do that.
Oh,
so
yeah, like in the orbits room, yeah.
Yeah, so it would certainly be because our space on the floor and the walls are very tight in this place, but the ceiling, we got some room up there. We don't have any.
Committed anything to the ceiling yet.
So I think it might actually be kind of a cool way and a great talking point to say that, there's a little bit of science hanging above you, that it's accurate to the distance. So that's always an interesting thing. So I don't know what you think of that idea.
I love it. And we actually just went through this process of making that happen at the ADC and the kids, Orbit's Curiosity Zone. All of those are where they're supposed to be in relative size. So that could be really fun, like a just to show off Flagstaff's kind of legacy there. But I'm happy to, if anyone's interested in that, we can sort of maybe offline that and see what ideas we can come up with.
Sure, Jessica
Yeah.
would be your point person.
Yeah, I'll be in touch.
Awesome. Yay. Okay.
So I understand that there's wall constraints, as you just said, but Phoenix Airport is known for its Terminal 4 rotating art exhibitions. And I happen to know an arts agency that would help coordinate rotating local artists at the airport. Aviation themed even.
Oh, I'll defer that one to Heidi because that would probably be outside of the visitor center portion, but it sounds cool to me.
Yeah, sounds fabulous.
Would you repeat it?
You know, local art shows, Heidi. Julie.
I didn't hear it from that end. I can't hear you guys. I'm sorry, Julie.
I just proposed a consideration for rotating art displays of local artists, perhaps aviation or regionally themed.
Definitely. I think that's a fabulous idea.
That's on airport, and then our next stop is going to be Flagstaff Chocolate Walk. So that's just right around the corner. This is our 9th chocolate walk. So looking forward to that. We've got, last update I got, 31 businesses signed up. Some do both passports, some only do one. We split it into two because we sell just 500 passports. That's a lot of chocolate for some businesses. So we split it into two so they have the opportunity to either do 500 or 250 and then they'll walk around, sample their chocolates as long as they go to a select number. Once we get our final business number, which that closes this end of this week, how many they have to go to in order to win a bunch of prizes that our businesses have been kind enough to donate towards the event. And then I know others are going to talk about this too. So With Love Flagstaff is another event that's going to happen February 15th and 16th at the Visitor Center with a lot of fun stuff and giveaways, ice sculptures, that sort of thing. But I'll let others share more as they take their turn. That wraps up visitor services. I will pass it to Meg Rover.
Well, thank you, Jessica. Such exciting things happening at the Visitor Center. So I'm Meg Roeder, International Travel Trade Sales Manager, and I will be presenting on October, November, and December because it's been a while since I've had a presentation with the Tourism Commission. But before I get started, I just want to thank Trace, who presented my slides for the FY26 Strategies and Tactics meeting earlier this month. If you guys have any comments or questions on that, please let me know. I hear everything went very well, so good to know. And then also want to give you a little international update as well. So Air France is increasing their frequencies in Phoenix to Paris. It services 5 times weekly starting in May. So that's really exciting. I just had a group fly in this week, Air France to Phoenix, and hosted them with the Arizona Office of Tourism. The route will be served by a larger aircraft now with 324 seats and a larger business class. So within 1 year of launching their service, Paris to Phoenix, they will have almost doubled the capacity on that Phoenix-Paris route. So super exciting. On another front, Condor unfortunately announced in December that it was discontinuing a number of its North American routes. San Antonio, Baltimore, Minneapolis, 2 in Canada, and then their Phoenix route as well. And it's due to the cancellation of important feeder flight agreement with Lufthansa. So unfortunately, Condor will be offline for a while. And then lastly, I just want to remind everyone, your Arizona travel ID is coming up soon. So that will be due by May 7th. You can always still travel with your US passport to board domestic flights, but you may want to start working on that and get your little star on your driver's license or your ID card if you haven't done that yet. So next slide.
So
So trade shows and missions have been pretty busy. I just got back from Go West Summit this month, but in October, I may have seen in the monthly report that I went to the Brand USA Travel Week in London. And this is an exhibit with between UK and European buyers, and I had about 36 appointments, of one-on-one appointments. It went extremely well. This travel week in London by Brand USA's invitation, you have to apply to attend the show. And so I was really pleased that Flagstaff was able to be invited and our application accepted. We had workshops, sessions, events, networking opportunities, and one-on-one meetings with travel advisors. We are also in good company with the Arizona Office of Tourism attending. Visit Phoenix, Visit Tucson, Experience Scottsdale. So it's a great thing to do. I've done it for the last 2 years in a row. We'll see about FY26. Application process usually opens in the end of February, and the potential of possibly partnering with another destination is helpful because it helps reduce some of our costs. And it's usually a good collaboration. Next, and those images are on your left there of the travel week. Then attended the NTA, National Tour Association Travel Exchange, also known as TREX. Trace and I went to this event together. There we were with US suppliers from the United States, Canadian areas, and 30 plus countries. So very well attended. It was in Huntsville, Alabama. With this, we partnered with the Arizona Office of Tourism for a booth on the Route 66 special corridor, a special location on the floor. And it was really well received. We used our Leon sign for Route 66, as well as our awesome banner in the background, and had items and answered questions as well. So it was very well attended. While there, I also did a sales mission, and with that, what that means is there's a conference room, and with the other destinations that attended from Arizona, which we had quite a few. We had the Arizona Route 66 Association, Visit Glendale, Red Feather Lodge from Tucson, Grand Canyon, and Courtyard Residence Inn by Marriott Sedona, as well as the city of Sedona. So we all did a sales mission. People had to register for that event, come in and hear all about the state of Arizona, and I presented on Flagstaff, of course. And then this is a shout out to Commissioner Half Moon. We did make the newsletter in the NTA for outfits on our space themed evening. And so thank you for assisting with that, with the wardrobe there. And with that, I was with the Director of Tourism in Mesa, Jalissa Glasman, and she's also an NTA board member. So very productive NTA sales mission there. And then in December, also went on an Arizona Office of Tourism sales mission in Australia, visited 3 cities, which was Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. Met with their trade representative, which is Linked Tourism. It was amazing. So well organized, met with trade representatives, made amazing connections. It was very Route 66 and astrotourism focused, talking about the outdoors and nature, our hotels, our properties, our restaurants, our breweries. Met with more than 50 VIP trade reps, 21 tier 1 media, so also had media appointments there as well, and attended 12 events and conducted so many one-on-one appointments. It was like too many to count, so extremely well. So the next trade show coming up will be in March with Brand USA Roadshow. Next slide. So FAMs are familiarization tours, and we hosted Cirque de Voyage with the Arizona Office of Tourism, and they're a top French tour operator. And we went to locations like Lowell Observatory, as well as they stayed at Little America. In the Museum of Northern Arizona.
So I think someone has their mic on. Barracuda.
And with that, I like the echo of that. So they also go on other cities when there's an Arizona Office of Tourism FAM. They also go to places like Sedona and Wilcox and Bisbee and Phoenix and so on. So that was very successful. In addition, Jessica Young and I, and sometimes including Trace, we meet with the director of sales of our properties. And this is just an example of us meeting with the Sonesta ES Suites director of sales, Kimbra Hill. We had other meetings as well. And then as far as our trade and sales marketing intern, you have up there the fall intern, which is Bowden Philippon, and he was featured in an AAU School of Communications Instagram post about his internship experience at Discover Flagstaff. And at this time, I want to welcome our new spring intern for trade and sales marketing, Andrew Pegnam. And
Thank you for having me.
and Andrew is majoring in strategic communications, and I've already put him to work. He was on last week's spam and helping with everything from making gift bags and IDSS database entry. So I look forward to working with Andrew this term. So the internship programs with NAU are just fabulous and really help drive our travel and tourism sector here in Flagstaff. Next slide. We've had a lot of successful results. For example, the Arizona Office of Tourism Live Canadian webinar and the CCRA Premier Partner Live webinar. The difference, the Arizona Office of Tourism actually was as the most live webinar I've ever done because we were at the Museum of Northern Arizona. I'm going around with a selfie stick and giving an interview during the webinar, and we had over 30 live webinar participants. The webinar was recorded. We also had special interview guest with Nancy, who represents the Museum of Northern Arizona. And I partnered with not just the Arizona Office of Tourism, but also with the City of Kingman. So it was extremely Route 66 Centennial focused, as well as cultural and history. And even though we had about 30 live attendees, they sent it out through their network. We had over 500 clicks on the actual webinar recording. And so if you want to watch the webinar, I'm happy to send the link. Please let me know, and I'll be happy to email that over to you. With the CCRA Premier Partner Live webinar, that I partnered with Experience Scottsdale on that one. And we had 143 registered participants. Again, we did a presentation on each destination. It was very collaborative with the Experience Scottsdale, and it reached an audience of about 15,000 corporate travel advisors, 50,000 leisure travel advisors, and 2,500 independent travel advisors. So extremely successful. And again, if you want the link to that webinar, I'm happy to send that to you. Any questions on the webinars? It's a tool that I use often to keep training opportunities for travel advisors and tour operators so they're familiar with the Flagstaff product and can sell it to their clients.
I would love to see that.
Hi.
I've been sitting in the parking lot for like now.
Well, hello. I will send that to you.
Thank you. Yeah, that sounds great.
Live and in person. For marketing, we've had some publications come through. One is Group Tour Magazine. This was also distributed NTA Tracks. You see it on the screen, but I'll pass it around so you can see the advertorial and the advertisement. It is Motor Coach featured with the creative spin, thanks to the creativity of Trace Ward here in the room. He helped we should put a motor coach in there, and it came off beautifully. So with that, 97% of Group Tour Magazine readers decide where to go, where to stay, where to eat by reading this magazine, according to Signet Research. And 68% of the Group Tour readers take action after seeing an ad, and the industry standard is less than 50%. So it is a publication that is a go-to publication in the industry, and it gets read 3 times more often than other industry publications. So we had that full page advertisement as well as the advertorial and the distribution at NTA Tracks. We got a lot of bang for that particular publication. In addition, I work with the Visit USA offices. What you see here on the screen is the Visit USA UK trade newsletter that's distributed directly, featuring Lowell Observatory's new Astronomy Discovery Center, which, by the way, I was there last night. Every seat was taken in the planetarium.
We have
in the
a queue
rooftop.
line now for each show for people, just in case someone didn't show up for their seat.
Yes. It was beautiful
We're
dark.
freaking out. We don't know how to handle it.
It was beautiful dark skies last night, and it was extremely well attended. And if you noticed, last night was a little chilly. So the heated seats were awesome. And so that was featured in the Visit USA trade publication. Was also part of the web banner you see there on the Visit USA sites as well. And it's something that working with the Visit USA offices really helps bring in some travel advisors and their clients. Just give you a couple quick stats here. The October and December, the web banner ads were placed on the Visit USA UK website and it featured, as you see there, Route 66 on one and the AstroTourism on the other. It averages 27 visitors per month on their website, and it appears throughout their website and also in their blog pages. So great bang for our buck there. Next, any questions on the marketing? Okay. Looking ahead, a lot happening. The annual travel guide, this actually arrived yesterday. So it actually comes out annually. This is with Visit USA, and we have information on there. So I pass that around. So that's one of the publications I wanted to also highlight. And then for those of you that may be new, I also brought, and I'm going to back up to marketing just a bit, the America Journal. You see America Journal on the looking ahead. We do advertise with them about once a year. In July, they had this value ad. This was not paid. It was editorial. A very good relationship with my representative there and their editorial team. It's a full page of the Americana.
Congratulations.
So that I thought that was cool. I wanted to share that. And I'm hoping they'll do the same thing this year. Yeah, or maybe Lowell, exactly. So we'll have to work on that. And then ABA marketing, that's the American Bus Association. I'm not attending that show, but I am doing some marketing. I had the America 250 subcommittee responsibilities. I attended a meeting yesterday virtually, and that's we have the Route 66 Centennial. We also have America 250 happening in 2026. And so we're collaborating to see what Arizona is doing for that, what the US is doing for that, how Route 66 Centennial will fit in all of those plans. So busy with that. A campaign coming up with National Geographic Traveler UK comes out in February. Brand USA Australia campaign, and you could see the rest on there. So with IPW, Vice Mayor Aslan, I have you, I heard that you would like to attend that, so I'll get you registered for the IPW show coming up in June. And does that work for you? Perfect. And that will be in Chicago, and more details to follow at the next meeting.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So I think we have an idea of the people who respond to our ads, and I mean, I know Lori's team, y'all's team have so much data on the people who click through and what those people look like and where they live. I'm curious if the people who run the tour groups, so the people who represent tourism groups or bus tours, whatever, what do they get most excited about when you're talking to them? I know that Route 66 Centennial is really big right now, but I guess aside from that.
Outdoors and astrotourism.
Outdoors,
astrotourism, Route 66, and they want itineraries. So I always give itinerary ideas, and they're interested in packages, any tour group packages or things of that nature that they can, or hotel and tour activities.
That's awesome. So they're looking for like itineraries for what to do in Flagstaff
Absolutely.
specifically? Oh,
Yeah. So because the ones I meet with is for Discover Flagstaff. So that's my focus. Usually if I go to these shows, they're also meeting with the Arizona Office of Tourism, or they may be meeting with Scottsdale or Phoenix, but the focus they get from me is all on the Flagstaff itineraries.
If that's the case, I know y'all have groups of these beautifully packaged itineraries. Would it be useful for businesses to link to that on their website?
That's an idea.
So like people who go to the website who are looking at one thing can say like, oh, and don't miss out on everything there is to do in Flagstaff. Because if we can sell Flagstaff, all the businesses would have an easier time selling themselves as well.
Just to mention on that, I have a trade one sheet, which has a great,
I've seen that.
Candace actually put together recently for me and
You showed
refreshed for me. And that might be a piece that we could coordinate on.
When they're so like well researched, but aren't they like, don't you have it for certain visitors, like people who are coming for outdoors? Or are they segmented like that? Or is it one?
There's the
Catch-all.
5-day explorer guide.
Yeah, Lori, I'll let you speak to that.
What is the question at hand? I'm not.
Like, is there something that we could encourage businesses in town to link to on their website for people who are going there? Like say, they saw something about Mother Road, and so they go to the website. Is there something we can encourage businesses to be like, oh, and here's an itinerary for your stay while you're here, or for that group to capture selling the town or staying longer?
Okay, so what, Commissioner, what I'm understanding is somebody is on, say, Lowell Observatory's website, and you are thinking that there could be value for you to have some content on your website that discusses click here for more things to do in Flagstaff.
Yeah, here's, go to discoverflagstaff.com and plan your itinerary for your trip, or this is one of many awesome things, because I think if the businesses can come together and get people to stay longer.
Right, so it would be outbound linking, referral linking. And so maybe like a QR code or just a hot link. And then we would direct to a page, probably to our homepage.
Yeah, whatever page you think would be most actionable, or if there's something like that, that might be a good way.
I think it would have to be our homepage, and here's why. If we're talking one link, right? So viewers from lowellobservatories.com versus creativeflagstaffs.com. I'm not quite sure if this audience is going to want to do what that audience wants to do. So so I think we should go to our homepage and let the user define the experience.
Is there a landing page that has itineraries broken out for different types of segments?
I'm going to say no. However, the brochures that we're referencing are available on the website. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to, first of all, I love the collaboration, and I will take referrals all day long.
So I was thinking, like, if there's one common page that we want, like, specifically, you know what I'm saying? Like
No, I
specifically
totally
for.
get it. I mean, people come in all the time to Coquino Center there, so like, we're visiting, what else is there to do? And we instantly send them to M&A and Lowell, right? So it is the same, and then they go, right?
Yeah,
So I think if there is a common place, I think the homepage might be good, but I think if it's actually to an itinerary of like, hey, here's 5 days, like that sounds really.
We do have 5 days of fun
I
itinerary
thought I'd
on our
heard that.
website. I do believe we might have a 3 days as well
That
for a
would be-
weekend
Something
warrior.
like that.
As a blog.
Or
It is most likely a blog. We have several blogs. Another blog is top 21, recently became 30 fun things to do in Flagstaff. But another layer, when people look at business listings on the Discover Flagstaff website, people can actually build their own itinerary on our website.
That's what I remember. Yeah, that's what I
And it
remember.
adds it to your own itinerary so you can save it and come back for it later.
Because if we knew, so like Meg was saying, people really want those itineraries. So if there's a way that maybe the commission could just like, as a group, like encourage businesses around Flagstaff to link to this specific, that page sounds cool, or like one of your itinerary pages on the Discover Flag page, that might, pique people's interest in getting that information more easily. If there's like one sort of page we can push everyone to go to.
the other nuance, and again, we'll dig in, but the other nuance is somebody coming to the page, we don't know when they're coming. So, right, so it's almost like there would have to be a couple of different itineraries set
Too
up.
much to do here, Lord.
Well, it's seasonally, right?
Yeah,
So we don't
yeah.
want to talk about downhill skiing or winter recreation when somebody's going to be here in June,
True.
right? So it would have to be nuanced, but I think we can do that.
Even as a tie-in to all of that, coming from the hotel's perspective, we get this every day, all day long. We're here, my meeting's early.
So
And it
does
really-
Flag Haps help you? So Flag Happenings, Isabel?
You know what works the best, because they need something right now,
Mhm.
today, and
And that's Flag Haps though.
encouraging them to go onto a website is
They wouldn't.
harder. Visitors guide we have
Mhm.
is incredible.
It's incredible. It is.
Amazing. And I always kind of compare it to as a checklist.
Mhm.
And then I always remind them that there's just gonna be more than they can possibly ever do.
And on our
They have to
pages,
come back, or they had to extend.
we do have, I think it's called a content call out, but it does link to our accommodations. We did work with I don't know if third party is the right word, but we work with a company called Ripe so that we can have a booking engine located on our website. So while we still link out to all of the hotels, people can stay on the Discover Flagstaff website, find what they want to do. And as they're scrolling, for example, festivals, a winter events page, it says Coca-Cola.
Right there.
So they see it throughout our website. They don't have to make additional clicks or navigate the website further. They can't, it's not on every single page, but it's located throughout the website just to encourage that stay in Flagstaff.
Absolutely. Well, even today was a great example. I had a family that came up to play in the snow.
Oh, man.
And their whole trip is thrown off.
Well, they should use their snow on there.
Well, they
Right.
have little kids and they wanted to go play in the snow and, yeah, and so we give. Yes, and I don't think they're open today.
Just go to Williams, so.
Go to
Day
Levitate.
trip, you know.
Go to Levitate.
That's, well, that's
Yeah,
exactly
they
what
like
it is.
that.
We give them choices,
Or the experience season.
but the visitor's guide is so handy because
It
it's got
really
the
is.
address right there. They take it with them and it's a checklist. I mean, it's the
Maybe
best.
if we can communicate to businesses why it would add value to them to link to the visitor's guide or something like that, or like make, because we get the connection. But if there's some way we could get businesses around Flagstaff to make that connection too, like here's an itinerary, say longer, we could just have 1,000 megs on all of the site doing what she does to those tour guide, groups when she's meeting and doing all of these things that's making such a big difference for us. If there's a way that we could like capture a part of that and get the businesses in Flagstaff to understand why it's important to go to the Discover Flag site or see that report, because the longer they stay, the more money they'll spend in town.
And we wanted to leave with a positive outlook. Because there was so much for them to do. It didn't matter that there wasn't snow, Yeah.
So by chance, are you familiar with Flagstaff Happenings? And do you use it? Does it need to be refreshed? Is it meeting your needs? Is it meeting your visitors, your clients' needs?
I definitely ask our front desk, because I know I've told them about that when they're looking for things to suggest, because we get the same thing. We're just telling them where to go or sometimes where to stay. But I know they have that link. I don't know if they use it. I could ask.
And that's in real time. That would be real time. No, it's not.
I know we don't use it, but I'm gonna get everybody set up on it.
Okay.
I just wrote it down.
And that is in real time, but somebody who's planning a visit, the website approach is the way to go. But in real time, because I think you mentioned that situation, I think that's a tool that we have at hand. But perhaps we need some input as far as what would make it better, stronger.
Yeah,
More
and
relevant.
real time wouldn't be good. Or well, I'll take a look at it. I know I've shared in the past, we have, Flagstaff is amazing. We do give walk-ins. We don't have folks that just plan a visit.
Yeah.
They show up and they walk in.
We're putting together something
Incredible.
for all the businesses downtown. I want to say all businesses, and maybe we'll email it to them. It's just our team is small, but of everything that's happening in the night sky by quarter, so that people can be like, oh, there's a meteor shower. Go out to Buffalo Park or go to Lowell if you want to see the planets or whatever. To give them talking points when they're downtown and fielding these questions. Maybe we could do like a QR code, like download the visitor's guide or whatever link you want there to start off. But I think if businesses could connect the importance of going to those pages or those itinerary pages, maybe they would be more likely to add that to their marketing efforts on your website and get people to like stay longer or because ideally, if people just went to Discover Flag, obviously they have everything. They have all the businesses information and all of that. But by chance, if they go to their hotel site first or Snowball first.
Yeah.
Um,
And we do something similar, primarily with responsible visitation. So we do ask our partnering agencies that are involved. So in this particular instance, it would be DPS or police departments or Forest Service. And they put our badge to our winter recreation map on their page. So we're all speaking the same language. We're super consistent. So it's the same idea, but it's just a matter of finding the businesses.
yeah. I mean,
to do that.
Put the little like window cling QR codes to the what's happening right now or, you know, Flag Hacker or something like that. If we could get businesses to rally, that would be great because y'all's stuff is so good. I've seen Meg and Trace too at work talking to these people and they just know here are the highlights. Here's what you're looking for before they even know what they're looking for. And especially if itineraries are critical, maybe there's a way we can use that information from y'all's experience with the booths.
I'm thinking the QR code sheet that we created for interview.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's like boom, bada bing.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
It's just quick links. We put that together for NEU. I think Jessica, you're utilizing one as well. We updated.
We give them every single one out at our event. We went, Charlie on our team went down with NAU to a huge soccer tournament and gave these out and they loved it because it's just one sheet front and back. It's so easy.
Yeah. Can we get one?
That's what I was thinking.
I
Like,
get
accommodations, if you just have that on the counter.
We'll put that in a metal case near the front. I mean, just for like a permanent display for the guests.
Let us know what size.
Okay, yeah, that would be fantastic. And I feel like other businesses, like something like that would just be like the QR code, that's perfect. Because then they can just on their own scan it based on who they are.
Maybe we change it out seasonally.
Sure, yeah.
Right, to relevant, but again, or maybe have, we'll figure it out. Yeah, good conversation. Thank you.
We've got a little stack in our office, so if you want to stop by after the meeting, I
Okay.
can give you.
Yeah,
pages,
I'll steal one at least so we can put it up at the
Yeah.
visitor center now and then.
Okay, well, that does it for trade. Turn it over to,
Hold on a second. I just wanna I have to make a couple of comments. Thank you so much, Meg, for doing an awesome and amazing job. And we missed you at the retreat. Where we identified in one of the priority for international is, and I think it's according to AOT's target, we have identified India as emerging market. So we can talk offline because we have our connection with our Asian American Hotel Business Association. I'm not sure how we can promote that, and I think that conversations need to happen at the state level too, with ACLCA and HOA.
there's definitely an uptick in the India market.
Yeah.
The Post Go West fam that I had this month, I actually had a tour operator from India. And she'd never been to Arizona. She'd never been to Flagstaff. And she was absolutely amazed at all the offerings we have in our proximity in Grand Canyon National Park. There is a report that AOT has hired called RMI, a vendor there, and they will be working on pulling content for India as far as like numbers, reporting numbers on how many are coming, where are they staying, how are they being booked. So India as an emerging market is definitely on the upswing. Arizona Office of Tourism with their staff member Kim Todd just returned from a sales mission in India. So I'm curious to see how that mission went. So yeah, let's chat offline.
And another thing to pay attention to, at least on the national level, because you've heard the president mention BRICS.
in terms of emerging markets for trade. So you have Brazil, Russia, India, and China. So maybe linked tourism. Again, this conversation tend to happen like at the state level. So thank you so much. And one thing I need to point out to Madam Chair, there's some conversation that are happening, parallel conversation on the chat that we don't have access. Some four of us here are in the room now. If we could get those resources that are shared online and send it to us by email, especially the resources sent by Sabrina on 3 days and 5 days experience. Yeah.
Do that. We have 19 minutes. So I think we're gonna have to go at a faster clip.
Good conversation then. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Chair, Commissioners, my name is Ryan Randazzo. I do media relations in the Flagstaff Film Commission. I will move along quickly here. I also am going to go over the months of October, November, and December with the metrics that we track for my office. So the first one is media assists. I don't mean to bombard you with numbers. I'll walk you through this. So what that's showing is how many assists we did in October 1st / November / December. So October we had 14, November 16, and December 10. Again, just to refresh your memory, an assist is when the media calls us and they want help with the story, but we haven't hosted them. You know, we haven't pitched that story, but we do have our fingerprints on it. A lot of times that's like a photo request or asking for information about one of our campaigns, such as astrotourism. The next line is journalists hosted. And again, this is for each of those months. So in October, we hosted 17 journalists. In November, we hosted 2. In December, we hosted 7. Articles generated. We use a software tracking platform. We didn't talk about this a lot at the budget retreat, but we do this just as a sort of the temperature gauge of media attention on our destination. So we have a software called Cision, and it scrapes the internet and print media for all the stories that reference Flagstaff. October, we had 140. In November, we had 99. And in December, we had 112. December was up from about 85 compared year over year. November was about 50%. We had about 180 stories the same month the prior year, and that was because there was significant media attention on the airport advertising issue. So that's what those numbers reference. Cision, unfortunately, I cannot provide a year over year for October because they changed their platform on me. And I can only look back exactly 1 year, and I waited until about the 6th of the month to try and pull the prior year data. So my apologies, but I don't have a year over year there. News releases, during that 3-month period, we only issued 1 news release. It was about the Pinecone drop and holiday events. I'll have a lot more to say about that, but I'm going to move along here and we'll get to that. The themes we covered in October, it was fall colors. We had tons of media attention on that, which is great because we have the leafometer. November, obviously, we had Lowell because the opening that pretty much dominated. December, we got significant media attention on the North Pole experience and the Pinecone drop. Next slide, please. I'll go through month by month the highlights of media coverage. October, we had this national cycling publication that we hosted here, and they published a guide to Flagstaff. This was pretty key for us because it mentioned accommodations, it mentioned restaurants, and it drove traffic to our Trails Passport online, which is a tool that we use to instruct people on where a good place to hike is that's not the most crowded places that we have. And then below that, you see we had ABC 15 came up. I worked with this journalist a long time to try and pinpoint the best day for him to come up, and he captured some drone footage. If anyone ever suggests I don't make sacrifices for this job, please know I sacrificed my dignity for this one. You see me, that's me on the swing. I was praying someone else would come along and ride that swing for him, and that did not happen. So that was me.
So cute.
Thank you for taking it for the team.
Yep.
You're having so much fun.
Okay, November. We again, Lowell just pretty much dominated our media coverage for that month. Lowell did a great job getting its own media attention there. I did work with the Arizona Republic a little bit, but much of that attention is thanks to the efforts from the observatory staff. We also got a nice surprise there. I had hosted a journalist back in September. She was doing a girls trip to Flagstaff. You never know how these things are going to turn out. I sent her up to ride the scenic gondola and it was too scary. She didn't want to ride it. I was very nervous how this was going to turn out. I sent her to the barefoot trail, which she really liked. She writes a blog, but this is what happens sometimes with media is her blog can be syndicated nationwide, and it got picked up by the Miami Herald. Not one of our key audiences, but it's a huge newspaper, and it's a great media hit for us from something that wasn't. Yeah, I know. It just very unexpected, but very thankful for that. The bottom two pictures there, this goes back a full year. A year ago, if you can believe this, it was very snowy here, and the commission discussion was on the frustration that Phoenix media is always showing pictures like the one you see on the right, which is traffic jams and car crashes and stuff. And I can provide a little insight on why the media does that, and that's because our friends at ADOT provide those pictures that are on the right. And that's in fact what the Arizona Republic shows there. This is from November 7th. We can't really tell the media what not to show, but we can, again, influence things and put our fingerprints on it. So on November 7th, we had snow here in Flagstaff. I took a walk through downtown early in the morning. I took pictures of 10 different things. So the courthouse, the Orpheum Theater, the Weatherford, Babbitt's, and I just sent those pictures to the media proactively before they had their morning news meeting. And this worked. So these are two images from a photo gallery on AZ Central. I apologize, the slide is a little bit slow, but if you see the picture in the lower left, that is slide number 1 of a 17 photo gallery on AZ Central. And the first 10 photos were my photos. So again, nice Orpheum, people walking in downtown, very, no car crashes. And then you get to slide 14 and you get the ADOT free photos too. So the media is going to use what people give them, right? But this was really successful. AZ Central has republished this same photo gallery 5 times. So every time there's even a threat of snow, they plug this photo gallery into that story. So yeah, it worked. So if we ever get snow again, we will try that again. December, a really good story to tell here, and I know we're conscientious of time. We found out in November that Weatherford was in a contest with USA Today, a huge national publication for one of the best New Year's Eve drops. When they notified us in November, the Weatherford Pinecone drop was ranked number 18. Only the top 10 were going to get mentioned in this article. So immediately we emailed the whole city staff and said, please, you can vote every day, once a day. Please vote for the Weatherford. We sent an email from Trace's account to 650 or so of our partners, encouraging them to also please vote for the Weatherford.
You mean Trace personally sent
One
Just
at
to
a
be
time.
clear, yeah.
It's
called, if you're not familiar with it, it's the note from director. So it's a quarterly email that that Trace sends out, and we made a plug for that. And we know that people opened and clicked that link in that email. So that was really successful. Ralph helped out because USA Today had these 20 different pinecone drops, and there was, like a dropping shrimp and a pierogi and stuff from all over the country. Ralph helped out by providing better photos to USA Today because they had like a really generic shot, so that I'm sure helped us out too. So what I'm trying to say is we worked very hard, and on December 13th, we found out, obviously with the Weatherford's help too, with their event, that we were ranked number 5. And we got a USA Today story that we were ranked number 5.
Fantastic. Wow.
It's great. I mean, but again, Weatherford does this, so thanks to them, but they give us something to amplify. So December 13th, we find out they're number 5. December 14th, we issued a news release to 250 partners in the state. We got newspapers in the Phoenix area. We got every TV station in the Phoenix area, and we got radio down there to do stories on December 14th through like 16th, that this was one of the best events in the country. And that's really key, like working really fast, because that was enough time for people to make plans to actually arrive here. And then the best part, on December 31st, this is the New Year's Eve drop on KPNX, Channel 12, the NBC affiliate in Phoenix. You can see they're showing New Year's Eve in New York. And they, thanks again to Ralph's handiwork with our webcam, side by side with Flagstaff. So they showed our live drop at 10 p.m. So we got pre-arrival awareness. We got live coverage of it that day. We've got tons of media clips from throughout that day from all the major stations in Arizona covering that event. So Oh, yeah, it seemed like it was great.
You were too full. It was painful.
And, I would like to interject, Brian, first, great job. And second to that, you know, our four seasons were a little dry, right? It was still cold, so our number one dry market got to bundle up and put on their jackets and coats and mittens. They had that, but there was the inspiration from owned media, paid media, and earned media to drive and motivate visitation, which could have been a really tough time.
Yeah.
We all had a chance to see the Star Report, and they made a little bit of a correction. I don't know if they got to see that part, but our numbers, you know, were okay. Yeah.
And the city did a good job this year of coordinating that traffic downtown, the bigger traffic. Yeah, with the barriers and everything, and I mean, everyone was having a fantastic time. So I think it is the 5 best in the country. So there, yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. I love it. It's great. Good job.
Sure. I love that this is a footnote on my presentation this month too. We also got a fabulous story in the New York Times about the Cocodona event. This was mostly about the racer, but really shows, you know, the high level of interest in outdoor, you know, recreation here, high elevation training. You know, we had a New York Times reporter and photographer at the finish line in downtown Flagstaff, so that's great. If you didn't see that story, I'd be happy to share it with you all. Okay, next slide, please. I've got journalists, this is just looking ahead. I've got journalists visiting from the fabulous Arizona, Nevada, and California magazines. They're looking to come here and profile the Bespoke. Raising Arizona Kids is a 20,000 circulation magazine in Metro Phoenix. I believe they're going to come up as well. If the weather would cooperate, we've got a journalist and an influencer all queued up to come up here and write about responsible snow play. And what I mean by queued up with the influencer is we have the contract signed, everything's in place. We just need snow for her to come up and tell people the appropriate places to do that. And also we hosted 2 beer journalists back in October. And looking ahead, you know, we are going to look for their coverage then to support Beer Week in February. Next slide, please. So the Film Commission, in that 3-month period, we did 2 permits. One was for Buffalo Park. Again, this was like an extreme athlete running who wanted to make a documentary there. And the other was a Route 66 film that we talked about at the budget retreat a little bit. We are working on the new location video to add to our website. We're advertising in Compass Magazine this summer. We did discuss that at the budget retreat as well, just the success we had last year with driving traffic to our website among the location manager crowd. We are in discussion with the city manager's office about Red Gap Ranch, which is a city property. Thank you, Councilman Aslan, for bringing that to our attention. So for the rest of you that were here for that discussion, you know, we are trying to move that along and see if that's an appropriate film site, if we can allow people on from the city's perspective. And we're in discussions to sponsor this PBS documentary that is being filmed currently and wants to premiere in Flagstaff in October 2026. So that would give us another Route 66 Centennial event in addition to the June 6th event that we're working on. This would be a whole weekend. So, sorry, do we have a question? Okay. That's it for me.
Good job. That's fantastic.
Thanks.
You are a 1-person team for earned media, right? But your work exemplifies collaboration and synergy within the Discover Flagstaff team, as well as working with, you know, your PR and media folks, not only in Arizona, but nationwide, and of course, working with, you know, the tourism commissioner, the attractions. So just, yeah, much love and gratitude to all you do.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it shows the power of people, like the votes. You said you got them to vote and do all of that. It just shows the power of the group at the table and the people that you work with the city. Yeah.
Oh, especially the hoteliers.
And which is a testament to an awesome and amazing Discover Flagstaff too as well.
Over to you.
I see everything on the screen. Hi, I'm Sabrina Beard, marketing specialist. We'll go to the next slide. I'll be extremely quick. Here's just a brief overview of October, November, and December for our Discover Flagstaff email campaigns. I'll just skip to the bottom. You'll see that pinecone drop. I did encourage our readers. We have, as you can see, a little over 28,000 readers. This goes out monthly. I did encourage them to vote and just raised awareness that we were up there among other drops in the country. And just want to highlight that accommodations and dining were some top clicks throughout the last few months. We'll go to the next slide. Flagstaff Locally newsletter, you'll see has a smaller circulation of about 1,500, but they're pretty engaged. You'll see again on that very bottom image there is that pinecone drop. So I did encourage our Flagstaff local audience to go in and vote. And of course, just to let them know that they should attend the event. And similar to our Discover Flagstaff email campaigns, we did see that dining was a big hit. We're encouraging people to support local. We did have a content about dining local, going out for the holidays. So we had good coverage for pinecone drop and dining there. We'll go to the next slide. Our Route 66 passport is doing well. I'll leave it at that. You can see some numbers up on the screen. I'll have more numbers next month, and we'll go to the next slide. Trails passport is also doing okay. These are just kind of accumulated numbers for you. I'll go into more detail next month when I have a little bit more time. We'll continue on to the next slide. Sweepstakes, we're trying to get that free on there from previous conversation to add to our creative, encourage more entries. I think we're lower on entries this last year just because we had to change the process from 1 entry per person per day to 1 entry per person to avoid those spam entries. We do have people that like to enter more than once. We did have someone reach out over social media recently asking what the heck. So sweepstakes, we're going to keep trying to get those numbers up. Go to the next slide. We added a new landing page to our website. It's for mocktails content. We got it up in time for dry January. And thanks to Candace doing some awesome research on Google, we got a quiz on the landing page. So this is the first quiz, hopefully of many, on the Discover Flagstaff website. It's really interactive. You get to put in your preferences for your beverages. You like it savory, you like it sweet, you like it tall, you like it short. Go on and take the quiz and let us know what you think. It gives a few options. So it'll say, we recommend you try this beverage at Atria or this beverage at Teatro. And it gives a few options so we can spread the love to our partners. I think that's it for me. Let's go to the next slide. Just shows some looking ahead. Lots of Beer Week support going on. That's been included in our emails recently. Still looking for a new email marketing platform. Any suggestions are welcomed, but I have a few options I'm looking into. Getting ready to sit down and meet with our festival organizers early February, plan for the 2025 festival season. As always, website updates and looking into additional sites such as the Arizona Office of Tourism to plug Flagstaff into more spaces and other travel sites like Travelocity, TripAdvisor, Atlas Obscura. If you guys know of any, send them over. They might be on my list, and if not, I'll add them. 1 minute to spare. That's it for me.
Oh, I added for Discover Flagstaff, AOT reached out to us for an update about the planetary parade that's happening right now. And so we sent a request to Discover Flagstaff to collaborate too, just because like why not? And Grand Canyon, because why not? Yeah. That's like you said AOT and that reminded me. So I don't know if you want us to just keep doing. I didn't have time to email and ask.
Oh, no, you're
for
good.
that.
That's okay. Get with Isabel. If she hasn't accepted it yet, it's possibly just very, she gets quite a few requests. She's popular. We're kind of popular. Yeah. So send her an email, give her a nudge, and she'll do it. Okay. All right, Sabrina,
People
thank
like
you.
We're kind of a big group.
Wake up. Time, what do you want me to do?
It's not up to me. It's up to the commission. And we can We can adjourn or you can stay. How long will yours take?
So I can do a lot of things. I can go straight to showing some creative and getting some input from those around the table. I could go through the whole presentation. I could do that. So.
Commission, what would you like?
Are we good with-
I can do 10.
Yeah. All right, you guys, keep me honest. All right, you are looking at a handful of thumbnails that we pushed out digitally. Our total ad impressions that were served were just under 1,000,000 at 974,000. Click-through rate was 0.18, which meets the high end of the benchmark. And video completions, similarly, a high end of the benchmark at 77%. As stellar as it gets, had a 0.24 click-through rate. And it was the retargeting that even had a better performance with a 0.36. Next slide, please, and a little bit of bragging rights here. New for Discover, Flagstaff.com, we hit an all-time high of an engagement rate at, I will call it 70%. Does not make me mad.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. It's, again, it's something that the whole team works for, and just continuing to do some great things here. You all had a chance to look at the metrics. I'm going to just, next slide, please, Rob. I'm just going to move through these. If you would like me to stop or slow down, we can do that. Yeah, please. Next slide, please. All right, this is just kind of showing a visual to what I had mentioned in regards to our engaged sessions. Again, I'm going to go back to December was an unusual month for us. So people were inspired by the content that we were sending out. Furthermore, they were spending time on our site for a deeper dive. What does that tell us? It could be right December visitation, but playing the long game, I'm going to say perhaps our spring and summer is going to shape up really nicely. Next slide, please. Things to do. Tells the story. Next slide. Amazing. Here, we're going to look ahead. This ad is planned for LA Magazine for the month of March. And here what we're doing is leveraging and talking to people who are planning on going to Cactus League spring training games in Metro Phoenix. And we know through AOT's research that many of them, just a titch under 400,000, plan to go to a national park or a national monument. You know, we have 2 national parks and 6 national monuments within a 2-hour drive or less. There's not a better place to get to. So we're motivating visitation this way. Next slide, please. This ad will be running in March too. This one is targeting our Dallas market and our flights because the Texas Rangers also train in Metro Phoenix. So leveraging that Cactus League attendance. I do want to call out in the upper paragraph, we call attention to the world's grandest canyon, and then to extend the stay and explore nearby Petrified Forest National Park. That statement is a result of our earlier meeting, our tactics and strategies meeting earlier this month, where we had noticed through our research, Cody, that you had mentioned, is that we have clearly learned and see a path of our visitors, and they are going to that national park. So if we can claim it and make it nearby, which it does fall within that 2-hour or less drive time, we're going to do it. So there's a move in the direction as a result of that January meeting. Next slide, please. This is a March ad too. This one, however, you can see is not targeting spring training. Rather, this ad is running in Albuquerque magazine. Since I've been with Discover Flagstaff, we have not had a presence in this magazine. But again, looking at the research that we shared at the earlier meeting in January, Albuquerque is making some noise in our market. So
we wanted to dangle the carrot more and encourage them to get here. You will see in that, Ralph, maybe you can you expand that a little bit? What I want to point out is that in that circle, yep, we're using the number 8. Previously, it was number 7. And again, it's because we added on the new national monument. Councilman Aslan, what are we calling that? Ancestral footsteps? Prints, ancestral footprints. So anyway, that is a result of our meeting 2 in January. And I hope you all see that these are significant changes to encourage visitation, again, calling attention to our proximity. Next slide, please. Y'all had a chance to look at this, but we're going to go to the next slide and do a little bit of a deeper look here. This creative is showing 2 options for digital billboard content in our Metro Phoenix market. These will appear on what we call rotators throughout Metro Phoenix, and would like for commissioners to weigh in on what you think or which creative you would prefer to see on these boards. I do want to preface with, remember that more often than not, people are traveling at a high rate of speed, so they have to consume it super, super quickly. One. Top is one for sure.
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
the, because of the speed, do you think the contrast with the white is enough? And this is a true question. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Mhm.
You guys have way more experience with that, but that's easy. The stay and play was felt like that bit because of the size. It's easy to read when.
Yeah, the stay and play responsibly would probably not be readable.
Okay.
Is snow false advertisement?
No way.
Dusting.
It's, I love it. You're absolutely right. It is a dusting. Yeah, and
The light shining off of.
Yeah,
That's far outside.
It's cute. It's really good.
Yeah,
That's
that's gorgeous. Yeah.
Did you think of that?
yes, appreciate your input.
Jen.
I would lean Portland as well. Good to know. All right, next slide, please, Ralph.
Yeah, and as Meg pointed out, we just love the heart and the bubbles.
Yeah.
That's Jennifer Schoenberg for you.
Good job, Jen.
All right. This is another set of creative running through the same tactic that I just discussed. And this is supporting our With Love Flagstaff event. So this will be running February 15th, or it'll be supporting an event February 15th through the 16th. It will start running as soon as February 1st. Thoughts on creative? Donate to.
What is this billboard?
Yes.
I think the first one's better.
Billboard.
I have a hard time reading too,
Me too.
but, I like the font.
So I will share that font is being used in print. We did offer a cleaner option because of what others at the table are saying too, is that the top font is going to be more consumable on a billboard with people traveling at a rate of speed.
And I like the copy in the first one too, with the question, followed by the punctual like dates. It's easy to read quickly. So I vote for one, but I do like that font. I think it's cool. I like that idea. But I think for the billboard, you're on point. Good one.
Great. And you guys did have a chance to see that full page ad in the Phoenix magazine, and it did have that font on the bottom. So we are using that font. We just didn't feel it translated well for this tactical execution, and just like no version. The Dear Phoenix. I'll tell you, and this is almost a conclusion for me. Ralph and his team just created a selfie station for the physical event. And the selfie station also has this letter writing capture too. And that we use this in other
This is a stupid question, design question. Someone who's a designer, would it Dear Phoenix in that font work and then the bolder font for the text, or would that be too many fonts?
I think it's
Too many fonts, yeah.
And we are doing a Deer Tucson digital ad as well. So yeah, we are changing it up depending on the market that we're targeting.
Awesome.
Does that work? All right. I sure appreciate the direction, and it looks like we were on the same page, which is super nice. Anything you want to add, Ralph?
No, thank you for the feedback.
All right. That concludes it for me. Thank you. Actually, I did one more. Cactus League, as you know, that is quickly approaching. This to the left is an insert that we did with the USA Today, and that is in a special section. To the right is a snippet of their website. We are in procurement right now for website inclusion, just like we were last year. It's been called to my attention that the Discover Bisbee badge is for sample only, that they are not partnering. And the reason why that's important is that it leaves us as the only destination again to be on their website, in addition to the state office.
Do you target Chicago for the Cactus thing?
We do. That ad will be reaching the Chicago consumer. Seattle as well. Yeah.
Great. Tourism Commission, thank you for letting us present. Back to you. Madam Chair. Oh, thoughts and comments. We've already been doing that the whole time.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And all of this was internal.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we are 3:12.
I did pretty good.
You did amazing.
Yeah, good time for you, Lori.
All of you did. And Ryan probably should go first next time because we keep cutting you down.
Chat fast, but thank you.
It's like nothing. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. You guys are doing tons. I have so many notes. We're at 3:12, so I do need a motion to close today.
We don't.
You don't need a.
We don't need a motion
Just
to
adjourn the
adjourn.
meeting.
Just bang it
I
out.
motion anyway. I motion.
No discussion. Let's go. No, thank you guys really. Tons, and we will be meeting next month, February 27th. You're
Thank
probably
you.
right.
Yeah.
Meeting is adjourned.